Hello everybody and welcome back to the wonderful park of Cedar Point. We're currently playing Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, I'm Attacking Tucans, and let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Alright, so what I decided to do from now on with this series is instead of recording like a 30-minute episode where I'm kind of commentating while I play, to make it easier for me and a bit less stressful and more fun to record these, I decided I'm going to record the episodes for about 2 hours, where just myself building, and then speed up all the footage so it's kind of like a montage of me building, and then post-commentate it. It'll just make the series a little bit more fun for me, and we'll get more done each episode. And if we want to get this park finished, it's probably the best thing to do. So let's go ahead and start talking about what we're building. So I decided first thing is I wanted to build a roller coaster behind the Alcatraz, because at first I didn't know what I was going to put behind here, but I decided a wooden roller coaster would be really cool. And for this coaster I decided to kind of do something different. I wanted to make it more of a diagonal looking coaster, to where the main lift and the main drop and everything went at a diagonal, because it kind of just gives a different look to it almost. It makes it look a bit longer and unique in a way, and I really liked it. And at first I had to make a lot of changes because the track wasn't going fast enough, but then once I got that finished, I started just powerhousing through it. Look at me go. Now the thing I really like about wooden coasters is the fact that they look really full, because they have a lot of supports, just crisscrossing beams, and it just adds to a really unique looking type of coaster. And I went ahead and wrote it real fast. You can see it in fast motion. Gotta make sure that it's a fun looking coaster while you're riding it and making sure everything looks kind of natural, and I was very pleased, and the test results ended up being very good as well, so I was happy with everything. So now let's go ahead and add the cues and the paths and everything. So I decided to go with more of a little western theme for this coaster. I want to have a little pocket of western in this park. I didn't want to do a huge section full of western, mostly because there's not a lot of western things. But for this coaster, I decided it would be the best option. Alright, now that oil rig is actually a special piece of scenery. What's cool about it is after you place it, you can select a piece of track from a roller coaster or any ride where you have just like pieces of a track that carts ride on. And whenever the cart of the coaster or whatever goes over that piece of track, it activates the gigantic animation for the piece of scenery. So as you see, whenever the cart leaves the station, the oil rig just bursts full of oil and kind of explodes, and it's really cool. I also like how it's pretty much as tall as the roller coaster, so it really just makes it all kind of blend together. And I put a little building underneath the coaster as well, just to kind of tie everything together a little bit, make things seem, I don't know, I just thought it looked good. Now, kind of unrelated to the game, but one thing I'm excited about when it comes to this series now, just for myself, is while building, I can actually like listen to music and stuff while building, and while doing that, it just kind of relaxes me and helps my creative juices flow a bit better. But realistically, whenever I'm building and talking at the same time, it kind of stresses me out because it's hard to think creatively and talk and think in commentary at the same time, which is why usually when I built stuff that took a lot of brain power, like buildings and stuff like that in the older episodes, I would like cut away and speed it up, especially with building the Taj Mahal looking building and stuff in the water park. But anyways, back to what I was about to say. While building this section of the park, I was listening to Drake. I never really was a fan of Drake until now. I just didn't like his music that much because all that I had heard from him was stuff on the radio, but it turns out the stuff that plays on the radio is like awful compared to the stuff that he has on the rest of his albums. And so I get to listen to Drake and kind of start to appreciate his music while building this episode. So that's a fun little fact for you. Alright, now we went ahead and built some hills just to kind of separate this little, what's it called? What's the scenery? Western, just to kind of separate this little western section, and then the scary section of the park is going to go behind these hills, which I'm super excited to build that. I have some cool ideas for the scary section. There's some really cool horror themed scenery. You know, I should have built the scary section of the park during Halloween. That would have made a lot of sense, but oh well. But I do advise when building parks, especially on this specific scenario where you have unlimited money and it's just a big flat area, it's really good to add some height and terrain adjustments just so it doesn't feel like a gigantic flat park, and so it makes it seem a lot more realistic. I still didn't even add that much land variation to this park, but I tried my best to kind of make it look really good. And I went through and sprinkled in some cacti and some tumbleweeds and stuff, more trees and bushes, because it just makes it look really pretty, and it's all coming together. The one thing that kind of sucks about the western scenery is there's not very much of it, and it doesn't really flow with any other type of scenery. Like, for example, the adventure scenery, like the pirate and like the tropical islands and all that stuff, it kind of fits together. You can kind of blend them together, but with the western scenery, it has to stand alone or else it doesn't look right. But other sceneries you can blend. That's why I wanted to have just a small section of this park be western themed. Alright, so I went ahead and built a little building around the roller coaster station, just because that's kind of my thing I do. I think it makes it look a lot more decorative, and then lots of stations have a roof over them so the people working don't get wet, or so the insides don't get all wet and stuff, because that's kind of gross. Alright, so this area is already kind of coming to a close. I'm really happy I added a western theme, just because I feel like the more variety, the cooler the park is, and it's just a cool little type of scenery that the game includes, so I really wanted to use it and kind of show off what is capable with it. Alright, so the next thing I went ahead and did is I had to add benches and trash cans and all that kind of stuff so people could sit down, relax, throw away their trash and everything. I think there's other parts of the park where I need to add other parts of the pack that I need to add more benches and stuff too, but the western themed area is good. Alright, next on my list was to kind of extend the monorail out a little bit longer. The monorail will probably end up being the last ride that's finished, just because I can't really build it until I have the section of the park built, but that's okay, we'll just slowly add on to it. It's our slow little baby that's growing up as the series progresses. I went ahead and added a little western show. I just thought it looked really cool. And then some bumper cars, because everybody loves bumper cars. Also, we have quite a few guests in the park. Look at the paths, they're really filled with a lot of people. We have almost 2,000 guests. That is nice. I went ahead and put some cool decorations for the bumper cars just so they didn't feel like they were out in the open. I wanted them to blend it a bit better, so I built some buildings next to them just to kind of make it seem like it was a nice little homestead with bumper cars. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Overall, I'm not a big fan personally of bumper cars. I think they're kind of boring, but they're still an important addition to the park to make it seem like a real theme park, because most theme parks do have bumper cars. I really like the building on the left-hand side of the bumper cars as well, this roof style. I just thought it looked really unique and cool. Added some flower petals to the ground just to make it seem really pretty, and lots of bushes just to kind of green everything up. I like the green. Green is good. When it's bushes, when it's money, when it's delicious salad that you get at Zio's because they have delicious Italian dressing. Oh yeah. Alright, so I'm pretty sure after I built this is pretty much all I did for this episode, but I think everything looked really nice, so let's go ahead and get a nice view of what we built today. Yes, I am in love with this section of the park. The western part turned out super nice, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about this new format of Rollercoaster Tycoon videos. Hopefully with it, we will get this park finished at a much quicker rate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!